I brought it to my parents' attention that we need to start recycling our pop cans and our newspapers.
The best thing about carpooling is that it helps to save the earth, and your car can last longer. You save money as well because you're not using as much gasoline.
Instead of putting your clothes in the dryer, you can hang them outside if it's like a sunny day because you don't use energy for the dryer.
To save energy, you can do simple things like cut off lights after you leave the room and make sure none of the faucets are dripping, and it only takes 1 gallon to flush a toilet, not 2.
We're helping to save the earth by planting these trees because trees give off oxygen, and we need oxygen to live, and we can help turn this world around.
Just simple things that really start making changes. You know, it's going to start on a small scale level.
I think if we all work together, we could save the planet.
Gilbert.
And I'm Brian Green. This program is about our home, the Earth, and what kids can do to save it.
In this program, we're not just going to show you what kids can do to save the Earth. We're going to show you what kids who've been inspired by this book are already doing in their schools, communities, and homes to protect our planet.
And no lectures.
Some kids don't think they can make a difference because they feel adults won't listen to them, or because the problem seems so big.
Today you're going to meet all kinds of kids from all over the country who care enough about the environment to do something about it. They prove that everyone can make a difference. Water is one of our most precious resources. We can't live without it. And yet because the ocean seems so vast and water supplies seem so abundant, we haven't been careful enough with it. Take our oceans, for example. They're full of garbage. I'll bet the last time you were on a beach, you found a lot more than sand and seashells. Of course, no person can save the oceans alone, but people can work together to start cleaning them up. That's what a group of kids in Ocean City, Maryland are doing. They call themselves STOP, which stands for Students Tackle Ocean Plastics. And every year they get out on the beach and pick up trash that might harm wildlife. They also help with a year-long survey sponsored by the Center for Marine Conservation.
Hey guys, we need to spread out in our line, start walking the beach.
What we do is we come to the beach on a survey. If we're in the center section, we pick up trash. If we're on the north or south sections, we pick up and label only glass or styrofoam pieces. We're doing that just for a survey to see if the marine law that we can't throw trash in the water has helped keep trash off our beaches.
6'5", and it says
ST with the
south.
That might be from New Jersey.
South.
When you mark it, we know it could wind up anywhere. It could, before you know it, it could wind up in Europe, it could wind up in Africa, anywhere. And we're going to find out where it goes and what's happening, and then we can know to spot out the trash and get it out of here.
This is crab.
Spider crab.
Spider crab. It must have gotten tangled in the string right here.
So they go around, they think it's food. Then before you know it, they get entangled in the string when it's sweeping on the bottom.
And they have no way.
And eventually they try to keep trying to get out, and
they tangle themselves.
And when they keep trying to get out, they just make it worse.
When we did our beach survey today, we found a great variety of trash, as we usually do. And I think probably the majority of the things that we found, again, were balloons. Just from today's survey, we found the balloons right here in my hand. After finding this great number of balloons, we've decided that probably one of our main objectives should be to see if we could get legislation passed banning balloon releases in the state of Maryland.
I think that it's important cleaning the beach because there's always animals in the ocean that can get caught by things that wash up on the beach, and you can find them on the beach. And if there's also a lot of trash, things on acetate and on the beach can come out and just try to eat it and die then.
We're helping because we're cleaning up the beaches, and most of all, we're convincing people that they shouldn't waste and they shouldn't throw stuff on our beaches. They should recycle. We're convincing them that our Earth can be changed.
Six-pack rings and other plastic garbage kill about 1 million seabirds and 100,000 mammals every year. So make sure that you snip your six-pack ring before you throw it in the trash. And pick up any loose plastic bags or six-pack rings or any plastic garbage that you may find and dispose of it properly. I'm Gregory Harrison.
From the beaches of Maryland to the shores of the Pacific Northwest, kids everywhere are pitching in to save their part of the Earth's oceans. Of course, you don't need to live near the ocean to help clean up the water. You can help protect local rivers, lakes, or streams. For millions of years, Puget Sound has been fed by pristine rivers and streams teeming with salmon. One of these streams is Pigeon Creek in Everett, Washington, which today is a place of beauty and life. But that wasn't always so.
Before, this used to be almost like a city dump, but it wasn't legal.
When we first started, we found refrigerators, tables, tires, chairs in the creek, and a lot of other big things that people just threw in there when they didn't want it.
The kids at Jackson Elementary School didn't like what had happened to Pigeon Creek, so they decided to clean it up. They came up with the Adopt a Stream program. The whole school got involved with picking up litter, checking the water quality, and even growing fish to restock the creek. They do this every year, and every year the creek gets a little better.
Well, we come down usually with a smaller person in a lower grade, and then we pick up trash and throw it away.
Today we found old beer cans and pop cans and big 2-liter bottles and stuff like that. I think it's pretty good our school has been saving the creek because we're being taught by the teachers, and then we teach the little kids, so we're like teachers, and then we can learn more from that too.
We have the whole school involved, and we have a number of partnerships between grade levels where they're teaching each other about the salmon cycle and about the cleanup effort down at Pigeon Creek.
Why are they going to come back to Pigeon Creek?
The kids in Mrs. Hill's first grade class hatch and grow baby salmon in the fish hatchery, which is a 55-gallon aquarium right in their classroom. They learn all about the life cycle of the salmon as they nurture them and watch them grow. In the spring, the kids take the salmon they've hatched and nurtured in the classroom and release them into the now clean creek, hoping one day the fish will return. The fifth graders are involved a little more heavily. They test the water quality of the creek.
We do the water testing to make sure that there's enough oxygen for the fish to live on in the stream. We check to see if the temperature is the right temperature, around 50 degrees. We come and test it about every other month.
We get into watershed management and explain to the kids that they just don't live by Pigeon Creek. They live in the Pigeon Creek watershed. And what goes on in their own backyard and in their neighborhood has a direct effect upon the quality of the stream right here.
Well, I feel kind of bad because all the fish and stuff die because other people putting stuff in the water, and it's not quite fair for the fish.
Kids are becoming very politically active. They are learning how to do community service and how to act upon their belief systems.
We've had the opportunity to take the students to City Hall. They've talked with the mayor, they've talked with the city council, and explained their concerns about Pigeon Creek. And they've shown a concern, have come back out and addressed our concerns. And they've spent a great deal of money in helping the kids bring the stream back to life.
Well, I'm glad that the salmon have a cleaner Pigeon Creek now, and it's better than a couple of years ago.
I feel like I'm doing something to save the earth instead of just being on the earth.
The Adopt a Stream program has been very successful here at Pigeon Creek. Someday soon, these kids will see their hard work and determination pay off when the stream runs red with salmon once again. And the experience of rejuvenating this almost lifeless creek will be a source of inspiration to them for the rest of their lives.
Representing the National Wildlife Federation, here's Kermit the Frog, Miss Piggy, and their friends with a few simple things even Muppets can do to save the earth.
All right, penguins, make sure we're not wasting water.
Gotcha.
And rats, check that the house is properly insulated. And Bessie, make certain we're recycling all our bottles, cans, and paper.
Gee, Piggy, what can we do to help the environment?
Let's not waste electricity.
What?
Hello, I'm Cree Summer. Where do you use most of the drinkable water in your house? Is it A, the kitchen sink, or B, the garden hose, or is it C, the toilet? Well, I'll have the answer and more when we return.
And now, back to the CBS Schoolbreak Special.
Where do you use most of the drinkable water in your house? If you said C, the toilet, you are correct. So save that water by putting something like a plastic bottle in your toilet tank to take up space so that you use less water.
If you don't have a stream or creek near you to adopt, maybe there's a plot of ground that needs some TLC. Maybe you could adopt a piece of the earth. That's exactly what the kids of the Norris Square Neighborhood Project in Philadelphia did. They live in a tough part of town, one of the roughest urban areas of our country, where some sections resemble a war zone. These kids are used to gang violence, drug dealers, and poverty. But some of these kids decided to reclaim the deteriorating neighborhood park from the drug dealers and successfully kicked them out in an effort to save their part of the earth. They were led by local teenagers like Angelo Rodriguez.
We're teaching the kids how to keep their environment clean, and we're trying to take care of our park, and we're showing them that it's very important for the trees to be taken care of because it's part of the environment and it produces oxygen.
We protect the park from drug dealers in the area because we keep it clean, and they usually go to places that are more dirty.
Right now, I'm working on a garden project, and we have like 4 gardens, and we have the kids go out, plant mums, and they plant seeds and all that.
The most fun thing in the garden is you can eat it.
Basically, we started out from scratch. The lots were like vacant and they were like all messed up and stuff like that. We would start off with cleaning off the lots, leveling them out, and designing some kind of construction of the garden.
The kids are involved in the planning and building of the gardens, where they plant seeds and grow all sorts of vegetables and flowers. They also started a full-service recycling program at the park.
We pick up the bottles from over there, we put them all together, and we separate them by newspaper, cans, green bottles, clear bottles, and brown bottles, and we put them in the corner. They come pick them up and take them to recycle.
A lot of people say, well, how can I save the earth? I'm just me, you know. It's a big company, and they're the one that's dumping, they're the one that's polluting. But if you start in your own backyard, then that can lead on. And then you go to your neighbor, and then your neighbor will go to their neighbor, and then you have a whole block. Then you get the community involved. Once the community involved, that's a lot of people. It takes one person to start everything. And hopefully we're starting something here.
Every newspaper, can, and bottle you use can be recycled. That saves the Earth's resources and reduces pollution. It also saves landfill space. But what happens if there's no recycling center in your town? Who you gonna call?
If there's something strange in your neighborhood, who you gonna call? If there's something weird and it don't look good, oh, who you gonna call?
The kids of Jefferson Parish, Louisiana bring more than books, lunch, and curiosity with them to school. On designated days, they bring in bottles, cans, and other recyclable items from home where fellow students from the Wastebusters Environmental Club meet them.
Once a month, we place the barrels out front, and the kids recycle by bringing their different recyclables in, you know, the plastics, the aluminums, the tin. Me and my team sit out there and we help organize it and tell them where the different things will go.
The Wastebusters were the hub of the recycling activity in their entire school system, which consists of 84 schools. And the majority of those schools are involved in a recycling program. Last year, just the elementary school kids collected 34,000 pounds of plastics, tin, aluminum, etc. from their neighborhoods and their homes and brought them into school for recycling. This joint program between elementary school kids and high school students has been very successful.
We come out to crush cans, bag plastics, sort plastics, crush plastics.
We wanted to know what that impact on the environment was, and it was 14,000 trees saved, and 3,000 barrels of oil saved, and 2,000 cubic yards of landfill space saved for the people of our community. Those resources didn't need to be used because we recycled.
At our school last year, we recycled 34,056 pounds of materials.
Recycling is important because our main objective when we first started was having the students and teachers being aware of recycling and how easy it really is.
Can we get a box in Sugar Shack and maybe Teacher's Lounge?
Okay, we'll get a barrel for the Teacher's Lounge for the drink machines in there and the sugar. It's not the money, it's not how good your program is at your school, it's how much you save in the landfill.
When Jonathan or Cardell are grown and are maybe a business person or the mayor of West Rico, they will remember their experience as Wastebusters. And so, because children learn from what they do, letting them do the hands-on recycling in schools is really a good proposition.
Corin Nemec here. Recycling paper saves trees. Did you know, for example, that Americans throw away about 45 million newspapers every day? If we recycle them all, we could save the equivalent of 500,000 trees a week.
The Norris Square kids and the Wastebusters showed us that kids really care about recycling. This next group of kids drives home that point. These are kids who find it difficult or next to impossible to do things that most of us take for granted. And yet the kids at the Crippled Children's Hospital and School in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, care so much about saving the earth that they've made recycling a part of their lives.
We just finished our environmental unit. Let's list some things that we could recycle in our environment. Chip?
Paper.
The kids decided that paper recycling was something that they could implement right away. We pick up paper once a week, every Thursday afternoon.
The kids are paired into teams, assigned a collection route, and head out into the hospital, ready to accomplish their recycling routine.
We are recycling paper with these barrels that we take around the building.
I collect the paper barrels.
Our paper barrels are special because they have wheels and wooden bumpers.
The kids hook up the barrels to their wheelchairs using bungee cords, enabling them to easily tow and push them through the hospital.
It's important we recycle so the trees don't get cut down and our landfills don't fill up as fast.
The kids bring the paper to a central location and transfer it into larger barrels. When those barrels are full, they call the paper recycling company and they come and pick up the paper.
It helps us to work together to learn how to get along with each other, and still we are saving the earth.
Mark Paul Gosselaar. How many recycled glass bottles and jars would it take to save enough energy to light a 100-watt bulb for 4 hours? I'll have the answer for you when we come back.
And now, back to the CBS Schoolbreak Special.
How many recycled glass bottles and jars would it take to save enough energy to light a 100-watt bulb for 4 hours? Well, the answer is just one. So if you can save that much energy by recycling just one bottle, imagine how much energy you'd save if you recycled all your bottles.
Hi, I'm John Javno, author of 50 Simple Things Kids Can Do to Save the Earth. And this is my son Jesse, who was my inspiration for writing it. Since this book was first published, I've received thousands of letters from kids all over the world. A lot of them are about the things they're doing to help save the Earth. Of course, not everyone is working in an organized group like you're seeing on this show, but that doesn't matter, because anything you do, whether it's turning off a light to save energy or recycling to save resources, makes a difference. So keep it up. Together we can take care of our environment. We'll keep our world beautiful for generations of kids to come, like Jesse, and your own kids. Thanks.